A few years back, I had funds stuck on a centralized exchange for 11 days. Verification queue, then a manual review, then an email chain that went nowhere for a week and a half. And the frustrating part was the realization that I had no leverage in that situation whatsoever. The platform held the funds, so the platform set the timeline. And that experience is honestly what pushed me into seriously researching the non-custodial side of this space, because the question it raised was simple. Why am I giving someone else that kind of power over my own assets in the first place? That question led me to where I am now, several months into consistently using a no KYC, non-custodial services as my primary tool for moving between assets. And today I want to show one of the platforms I use and then explain the underlying mechanics of why this approach solves the problem I just described. Before I get into the transaction, a bit of grounding on why this particular platform specifically. The thing that stood out earliest was how the platform handles rate presentation. What gets quoted before you confirm is what actually executes.
That might sound unremarkable, but it's actually one of the cleaner ways to assess intent. A platform that skims on spread between quote and execution is essentially charging a fee it didn't disclose, and that behavior tends to show up in other places too. Didn't happen here. Supported assets are extensive. I've moved volume across a wide range of pairs over the months I've been using it, not just the obvious high cap stuff. Card deposits are built in and actually function smoothly. Not a redirect, not a separate flow, just part of the interface as it should be. And every transaction I've completed is settled inside 6 to 9 minutes. Not on average, every single one. All right, I'm going to exchange TRX to USDT. Clear pair, nothing complicated, good for showing the steps without any distractions. Opening the interface, here's the main screen, selecting TRX as the outgoing asset. That's set.
And USDT on the receiving side. Confirmed. And just below that, the rate card is already showing. Exchange rate, fee, expected time to settlement. Yeah, all of that lines up with where things are sitting in the market right now. Looks right. Moving forward. So destination address field here. USDT address goes in. Also, there's a refund address option. I always fill that in. It's just a sensible precaution. And an email field for notifications. Okay, that's all done. Next screen. So this is the confirmation summary, everything in one place before the order gets created. Checking through it, send asset, receive asset, rate, my address, fee breakdown. Every number and address matches exactly what was on the setup screen. No changes between steps, accepting the privacy policy and creating the order. Okay, order's open, waiting on the incoming transfer from my side.
Okay, that's gone through, confirming it, and it's running. Automatic from this point, tokens will land at my wallet address in a few minutes. And while that's processing, I want to explain what's actually going on underneath this, because understanding the mechanics is what makes this model genuinely make sense. The entire distinction between custodial and non-custodial comes down to one thing: who physically holds the assets during the exchange. On a non-custodial platform, the answer is that nobody does except me. There's no step in this process where tokens land in a wallet owned by the service before it gets converted. My wallet sends, the swap happens directly on the blockchain using smart contract, my wallet receives assets. The platform's role is to set up that transaction, figure out the rate, structure the execution, verify the routing, but it's functioning more like a calculator and a coordinator than an actual participant in the money movement. The contrast with a centralized exchange is stark if you think through it step by step. On a CEX, before you can do anything, you deposit. And depositing means the exchange now has your assets, not you. And from that moment forward, everything about how and when you can access those assets is determined by the platform's rules, not yours. Withdrawal thresholds, identity checks, account status, all of that sits between you and your own money because the money is technically theirs while it's on the platform. Non-custodial removes that entire dynamic. No deposit step, no account to restrict, no scenario where a problem on the platform side creates a problem on my side. The blockchain settles the transaction on its own terms, and those terms don't include waiting for a customer service queue.
All right, let me close this out properly. Something I've come to believe after doing this long enough is that the real test of any tool isn't what happens during the first few uses, it's what happens when something unusual comes up. An asset pair you haven't tried before, a transaction at an odd hour, a slightly larger amount than usual. Those are the moments that reveal whether a platform's reliability is structural or just situational. And what I can tell you after putting this platform through enough of those moments, somewhere past the 90 transaction mark across a genuinely varied set of conditions, is that the behavior hasn't changed. Same settlement window, same rate accuracy, same clean execution regardless of what I threw at it. And that stability under varied conditions is the thing I actually trust. Not the first transaction, not the smoothest one, the average one, the unremarkable one, the one where nothing special happened. Because that's the one that tells you what the platform actually is. And every unremarkable transaction I've had here has said the same thing. That's the review.